Today we're getting ready to plant our seeds, so we use a organic starting mix. I don't like to use stuff with a whole lot of chemicals in it. We have some organic non-GMO seeds we'll be using. We're gonna do some basil and cilantro and parsley and thyme and rosemary and all the great stuff. We have lavender seeds in the refrigerator right now. You do that, they're wrapped in a wet paper towel. You do that a few weeks before you're ready to sow the seeds. So that just helps them germinate a little easier. I know in the past I've had trouble getting lavender seeds to germinate in a consistent way, so that's a little trick. So if you're planting lavender seeds, that's something that you can do to help them along. After, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks, they're ready to go in the soil. So ours aren't quite ready for soil, but all these other ones are, so we're gonna get started with those. So here in a few weeks, you'll see little baby plants. All right, y'all have a great day. I'll see you later. So once you get your soil in here, it tends to be all everywhere. When I do it, it does anyway. So what you want to do is you want to take your tray and just hold one side like this, and take your other hand, nice and flat, just tap it, tap it, tap it, and then you want to come back and do it on the same side. I'm sorry, not the same side, the other side. Then turn it. Do it on all 4 sides, and you tend to end up with your dirt nice and pretty in your cells. Here, I'll show you. See? So much easier than trying to make everything perfect from the start. So, all right, y'all have a great day. Bye. All right, guys, so we have our seed cells full of soil, and we're doing bottom watering. That's the best way to do these. I don't know if you can see, there's a little left in there. I'm gonna leave it. You don't wanna leave it too long or it'll get real icky, but what's in there is just very minimal. We're gonna plant some rosemary seeds, and with the rosemary seeds, you just kinda wanna, they're very small, so you just wanna kinda sprinkle a few. You can make them come out of the pack in a small amount. You just kinda sprinkle, you know, a few in there. And what you want to do is just kind of lightly push them into the soil. We don't want to cover them. Rosemary needs light to grow. So we're going to do that in several cells, and then at the end what we're going to do is cover it with plastic to hold in the humidity for the little seeds. Probably cut just a couple small holes to keep some humidity and moisture in there. But they also need to breathe, so we don't want to cover them tightly. So we're going to use a little plastic wrap. You can use the plastic domes, whichever you want, and they like to be in a lot of light. So we're going to keep them near a bright window and let them have all that pretty light. But as soon as you see your little seedlings in about 14 to 28 days, you want to go ahead and take that plastic off. Now, I highly, highly recommend watering from the bottom. If you can't, then use a small little handheld spray bottle or something like that that will gently mist the soil. Because these seeds are so tiny, if you water them too hard, what'll happen is your seeds will sink down in there and you'll lose them all, because rosemary can't grow without the light. So I'm going to be working on that for a while, and then I have some other seeds that I need to plant. So I will see y'all later. All right, guys, we have our rosemary. We have it labeled. There we go. We got it all set. So next we're going to work with the chamomile, and this is going to be similar. Now these are teeny tiny like the rosemary. So again, we're just going to sprinkle them, and then we're just kind of do that. They also need air and they need light to germinate really nicely. We're also going to cover this. What will end up happening is we'll cover this whole tray with saran wrap or plastic wrap, and we'll probably do each cell individually because some of these are going to germinate faster than others, and we want to be able to leave it on the ones that have not germinated, but take that plastic wrap or dome cover, whatever you're using, needs to be taken off of the ones that have germinated, because they need lots of oxygen and light once they come through the surface of the soil. So we'll work on that when that time comes. These chamomile ones will take about 10, maybe 14 days to germinate. So I look forward to seeing them. All right, guys, thank you. I'll see y'all later. All right, guys, so we have all of our seeds in here, and for right now, I'll just put one piece of plastic wrap over the top. I will take that one off in a few days when everything looks good, and I'll do individual ones. What's great about this tray I have is, I don't know if you can see it, but these little sections, 6 cell sections, separate out. So as things get bigger and maybe they don't need to be in this tray anymore, I can pull them out section by section instead of having to wait for everything to be ready. But today we have rosemary, chamomile, sage and thyme, basil, cilantro, dill, parsley, and chives all planted. So they'll all be ready. A few of them will be ready in a month or so, and some won't be ready for about 6 to 8 weeks. Can't wait to see them when they get big. All right, guys, have a great night. See you later.